Welcome back. Operation Dudula leader Nhlanhla Lux Dlamini is out of jail tonight. He spent the weekend behind bars and faces charges of housebreaking, theft and defeating the ends of justice. Scores of his supporters gathered outside court. Our reporters Lindokuhle Xulu and Nqobile Madlala following the story for us. They join us now live. So Linda, we'll start with you and let's start with the bail conditions for Nhlanhla Lux.
Well, Shahan, Nhlanhla Lux today got a bail of around 1,500 rand, and his bail conditions were essentially set around the fact that he cannot leave the country and he cannot be in any kind of contact with the complainant at this stage. We do know that the complainant is from Dobsonville, where there was an Operation Dudula a sort of activity that was taking place around last week Sunday, and this is the reason why Nhlanhla Lux had been arrested. But today he got that bail. He will be sleeping home today, but it is not without conditions that he must adhere to. One of them is to stay in the country instead of staying in the province, because the argument from his lawyers were that he cannot be confined in Gauteng. He needs to move around for certain programs that are lined up for him. But take a listen to the magistrate just making it clear what he can and cannot do while he is outside.
They're not supposed to communicate to this complainant. If there's any complaint about that, the court may inquire about that, and if the court finds that you breach this condition, your bail may be cancelled. Do you understand that? It's also a condition to your release on bail that you do hand your passport to the investigating officer, Mr. Pongo, by 1600 hours today, 4 o'clock, and for that passport to be kept safe by the investigating officer pending this matter. Also, that you continue to reside at the address given on the charge sheet pending this case, and if needs be, for a change of a residential address, that you approach this court prior to changing your address.
And Linda, of course, after his release, Nhlanhla Lux went outside to address his supporters. He seems pretty defiant, and he's going to continue with this movement.
Very defiant indeed, Shahan. I mean, he came out there saying that he was stronger after his arrest. He says that he took this time to reflect and also to just take in some of the heritage that comes from being at that particular police station that has a history of other political prisoners that had been there. So he was speaking about the issues such as the fact that he was in line and he was listening to the likes of Steve Biko in their spirits when he was in there, but very defiant. And in fact, even speaking about tomorrow going to another Operation Dudula activity that will be taking place in Pretoria. So he says that he's coming out, he's stronger, and he's ready to take on the task that he's been, taking on as the chairperson of the Operation Dudula. But to take a listen to him just addressing the scores of supporters outside in terms of what this time meant for him while he was inside.
We are going to come out and emerge victorious. Yes. We are already victorious. But we're going to make sure that we hold each other's hands, even this is the time. There's no other time. This is the time that we live and die for our people. Let me tell you, it's training area, as I always say, this is Kilaf Kahad. More disability coach to how to talk to understand. Because of we have now nowhere else to go and we have no one else to save us. The generation that's coming after us is too drunk, it's too high, and it's playing PlayStation and it's smoking hardly for it to do anything. So if we fail right now, we have failed the black nation forever. So Tronco Kintwenya.
Linda, very quickly, of course, the NPA was accused of this being a politically motivated case, but they're rubbishing that idea. What are they saying today?
Yes, From the NPA's side, they are saying that the case wouldn't be before court. He wouldn't have been arrested if there wasn't a case against him. So they're saying that there is evidence. And in fact, the case was postponed to the 27th of May. This is to allow for further taking of some eyewitness accounts of what had happened there. So there are witnesses that have come forward. They'll be taking their statements. They'll be consolidating all the evidence. And they are saying that they are prepared to take this even further. So the state does say that while there are these issues of saying this is politically motivated or not, theirs is to look at evidence, and they're saying based on the evidence they have a case that really would need to be ventilated in court.
All right, Linda, we're going to leave it right there. Stand by for us. Nqobile, you were actually outside court when he was appearing and eventually came outside. His supporters naturally relieved because they were there since Thursday night even.
Yes, no, we do understand that they've been there since Thursday night, and they have, said it numerous times, Rahan, that they will not leave the Johannesburg Central Police Station, saying that, of course, just like what Linda was alluding to, that there's a history of political people in the past who were kept there, who were detained there, and this for them was something that was symbolic, that this guy is now that kind of people, that kind of caliber, which is what he's also alluding to. But they stayed there, and now coming back into Roodepoort, you could just see that they believe in him, that they love him, that they care about him in all sorts of ways. But when he came out, you could see the jubilation, you could see the celebration. But a lot of organizations also coming in. We spoke to Alexandra Parliament that was saying that they're fighting the same struggle. So you can see people aligning themselves with what he stands for and what they believe he stands for at this point. And so this is the reason why that keeps them coming back. But the worrying part here, Shahan, is the fact that there are people that come in there only thinking that this is the only solution to go out on Operation Dudula, because at this point they're finding that the government has failed them. They're talking about things like the SAPS taking bribery. Of course, these are allegations, but they're saying that it's so hard-hitting. We spoke to one of the gentlemen that was coming from JP, and he was saying that it's so hard-hitting that they're finding themselves paying money to foreign nationals that are illegally in the country. And so they believe that Nhlanhla Lux is really the answer to this. But then it begs the question, where is our law enforcement services in this case? If that was strengthened, would this still be as effective? We spoke to one of the ladies there who was saying that she has had her kids, two of her kids were raped, and she claims that it was illegal immigrants, and they feel that the country needs to tighten those laws and the country needs to look at that. But of course, jubilation all around. Let's listen in. It's half the battle won. Supporters are celebrating Operation Dudula's leader being out on bail.
Some people are complaining to say that, but this case is petty, you should have been out long time ago, the legal team must have a problem. No, I don't want to get into that. I just want to tell you, 9-9, our legal team was the best legal team for the circumstance.
Nhlanhla Lux Dlamini was arrested on Thursday and is facing charges of housebreaking, theft and malicious damage to property. Since then, affiliated organizations and Operation Dudula members have come out in support of him.
People are living lavish lifestyles because they are driving the latest cars, because they are drug peddlers.
If you are a leader and you want to please everybody, go and sell ice cream.
The Alexandra Parliament says its support is based on people's economic struggles.
The local economy must go back to locals. That is one of the issues.
Fees Must Fall activist and former EFF member Bonkosi Kanyile also came to pledge his support. He has dismissed the social media backlash.
I saw on Twitter they are insulting us. They say they will come and beat me up for supporting Nhlanhla Lux. They must come here. Look at the numbers. They must come here.
Dlamini is expected back in court in May. For now, though, he will be sleeping at home under stipulated bail conditions. Nqobile, Madlala, Johannesburg.
We'll leave it right there. Our reporters Nqobile Madlala and Lindokuhle Xulu covering that story for us.